Hello everyone, welcome back to Advantage Receiver. Now this past weekend we had 3 big time tournaments conclude, and let's go over all 3 of them. This is the Advantage Receiver recap. We're going to start in Stuttgart where Iga Świątek, yes, Iga Świątek won another one, her 4th straight tournament in a row that she won. She defeated Sabalenka in the final 6-2, 6-2. Now, her path to getting there wasn't exactly the easiest as she had to battle her way through almost every match she played, especially when she got to the later stages of the tournament. She had to play U.S. Open champion Emma Raducanu, won 6-4, 6-4. A good showing for Raducanu, but a good test for Świątek as well. Then, in the semifinals, it looked like the streak might end. She ended up losing the first set she's lost in quite a while, in a tiebreak to Samsonova, 6-7, but she ended up battling back and won the second set 6-4. And then it was 7-5 in the third, and she was down 4-5, so she had to hold serve to continue the match. So luckily she pulled it out, and she was able to win that crazy semifinal. And then when she got to the final, it was business as usual for Świątek, defeating Sabalenka in straight sets 6-2, 6-2. That's her 23rd straight match win and her 4th straight title. She's won in Doha, Indian Wells, Miami, now Stuttgart. And, you know, with Świątek, she was handed the number 1 ranking once Ash Barty retired. That's a given. But she has not shied away from the opportunity. She has embraced this ranking that was given to her by the retirement of Ash Barty. And she has played like the number 1 player in the world on both sides, men or women. She is the best player in the world, bar none, between either of the tours, men or women. We're going to get to Djokovic here in a little bit, but he's clearly not the best player in the world on his side. It could be Medvedev or it could be somebody else. But it's clear. There is no doubt about it. Iga Świątek is the best player in the women's game right now. And she's only 20 years old. She's won 4 straight titles, 23-match winning streak. Heading into the tournament, she only has 1 Grand Slam in, is the French Open. I mean, as good as Świątek is, and she's fantastic, well beyond her years. But it is so difficult to keep that momentum going in the game. We'll see how much she can keep going towards the French Open. There's a couple more tournaments before we get to Paris. Let's see what happens. Would it be good if she lost before Paris? Maybe, just to get that off and then maybe reset when she gets to Paris. But we'll see. Świątek is playing better than anybody, like I said. 4 straight titles, 23 straight match winning streak. Świątek is on a tear, and she is embracing this ranking, the number 1 ranking in the world, and she's playing as well as anybody right now, and it's a marvel to watch. Future legend of the game, because it's what she's turning into. She's a future legend of the sport. 1 Grand Slam, and I can't see a reason why to think she won't win many, many more. Going to Serbia, where Djokovic got to the final. Now, Novak Djokovic has not had the typical season we're used to seeing from him, right? Obviously, we know about the history with the Australian Open and the vaccination thing. We're not going to get into all that because that's kind of news everyone knows at this point. But every match he played in his home tournament in Serbia was a battle, right? He had to play. He had to battle against Kecmanovic in the second round, 4-6, 6-3, 6-3, and then Khachanov 4-6, 6-1, 6-2. And it looked like maybe the momentum would give him the win. But here's my opinion on Novak Djokovic, and it's that he's not back yet. Not yet. He played well to battle. He was battle tested in all 3 of his matches before he got to the final. But he's not at that point yet with his game where he can beat top 10 or top 5 players like Andrei Rublev, who beat him in the final 2-6, 7-6, 6 love. Or excuse me, 6-2, 6-7, 6 love for Rublev. Rublev winning against Djokovic. Like I said, Djokovic is playing well, but not well enough to beat a player like Andrei Rublev. And it's a shame, like we talked about last video, that Rublev will be unable to play Wimbledon because of the ban, unless that's changed. But Rublev is playing fantastic tennis, not just this year, but he's played fantastic tennis for the last couple years. He actually has already beaten all big 3. He beat Rafa, he beat Federer, now he's beaten Djokovic. Rublev is a fantastic player, but Djokovic is not up to that level yet against a player like Rublev. He made some strides. Let's not kid ourselves. He made some strides in Serbia to get back to where we're used to seeing him. But he's not there yet. He had to battle against players he should be beating easily. Khachanov, that's maybe a given. Maybe he'll lose a set to Khachanov. Maybe the way Kecmanovic is playing, lose a set there. But he did not look the same Novak as we're used to seeing from him. He got broken a lot. Serve wasn't quite there yet. But a player like Rublev is not going to lose to this Novak right now. Novak has to get a little bit better, maybe a little bit more match play, and maybe he'll get back to what we're used to seeing from him. But as it stands, he's not at the caliber of a number one player in the world right now. But make no mistake about it, congrats to Andrei Rublev. He played fantastic, and he looks like a good threat to go forward in the clay court season, at least. Obviously, the grass he can't play towards Wimbledon, but the clay, he's looking really good, and we'll see what happens with him going forward. But like I said, Djokovic is not there yet in terms of his game to play these big-time players. It's just going to take a little bit more time for Novak to really get to that point. And then finally, I mean, what can you say? What can you say about Carlos Alcaraz that hasn't been said before? He is the future of the game. Once Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic all are done, they're retired, this kid looks like he'll be the forefront of the new generation, or the next gen, or whatever you want to call it, whether it's him or Zverev, Tsitsipas, Medvedev, whatever the generation you want to call these players. He looks like the leader of this one. He is only 18 years of age. He's already won Miami this year, which is a Masters 1000 title. Then he just won Barcelona. And he played some fantastic tennis going towards the end of the tournament. He beat Tsitsipas, which it seems like it could be a rivalry, but it's one-sided. Alcaraz has won all three encounters against Tsitsipas, but it's always a good match to watch those two play. Tsitsipas is a fantastic player, and Alcaraz just got the better of him again. Then against Alex de Minaur, where you weren't sure, right? Because Alcaraz was down 2 match points. He ended up bouncing back, winning the second set, and then winning the third set, 6-4. And then the way the tournament shook out, he has to play the final later again the same day, and he goes against Carreño Busta, who's a pretty good player on the dirt, and he wins 6-3, 6-2. So Alcaraz winning Barcelona. He enters the top 10 on Monday. He'll be number 9. It's so crazy, the similarities between him and Nadal. It's the same age, the same date, and the same tournament as Rafa did it in 2005, where he got to the top 10, and he got to number 7. But yeah, Carlos Alcaraz is playing better than, someone at his age, right? He's only 18 years old. He's already won these big tournaments. He's already in the top 10. He's number 9 when the rankings come out Monday. And it's a sight to behold while Federer rehabs and Nadal is coming off injury and Djokovic is kind of struggling to find his game. Who will take over when these guys are done? And it's Alcaraz. It's Carlos Alcaraz who's taking over, and he's had a heck of a summer. And is there any reason to believe he won't win the French Open? Maybe. But the way he's playing right now, I can't see a reason why he wouldn't get further in the tournament. Maybe towards the final 8, final 4, maybe. But unless something happens like it did in Madrid where he lost that, we'll see what happens. But, not Madrid, Monte Carlo. That potentially could happen, but the way he's been playing around, he's playing fantastic. It's, like I said, a sight to behold to watch a young player step up and play these big-time tournaments and just continue to win, continue to battle, and continue to play the way that he has. It's crazy to think. It's crazy to think the two players that are idolized and looked up to Rafael Nadal are playing the best tennis out of anybody. Iga Świątek on the women's side and Carlos Alcaraz on the men's side. It's crazy to think about, but they're playing the best tennis of anybody right now. I mean, I can't see anybody else playing as good as they are. So that's the recap of the tournaments that happened this past weekend. We're moving forward towards the French Open. The French Open starts in May. We'll see what happens with Novak, if he can get back to form. We'll see if Rafa is ready. You think he's going to try to play some of these tune-up events. We'll see what happens. He might play Madrid. I don't know. Can Iga Świątek keep this up? She's been playing fantastic. She got pushed a little bit at Stuttgart, but we'll see what happens to her going forward towards the French Open. And like I said, Carlos Alcaraz, it's a privilege to watch this player. And it's a privilege to keep your eyes on him while he plays the game, because he's only 18. He's been around for a long, long time. And the amount of tournaments and majors he's going to win is something fun to think about and a joy to watch, because he battles harder than anybody, I think, right now on tour. And it's good for the game and good for him to be this big star and thrust upon him to really take advantage of this opportunity for himself. So that's going to do it for the Advantage Receiver recap. If you like this video, give it a like. Let me know you enjoyed the content today. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about Carlos Alcaraz going forward? Do you think he's winning the French Open? Maybe somebody else. And let's hear about Iga Świątek. She's playing better. Is there anyone playing better than her right now in the women's game? Let me know what you think. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching Advantage Receiver, broadcasting tennis from the West Coast to every coast.